I refuse to believe that everything is canon. Dragon Ball to Z to Daima to Super. GT doesn't exist in the story unless they're willing to remake GT, and I doubt people want to. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We're back with the brain rot. It's been 1 month since your bullshit yap. We haven't heard your yaps. We haven't heard your stupidity. We haven't heard your, well, actually. People are overhyping Black Frieza's strength. He took out Goku and Vegeta, but they had just finished fighting Gas, who was literally the strongest in Universe 7 at the time. They were drained or injured. Plus, it's hinted that Beast is on par with Ultra Instinct Goku and Broly and is still getting stronger. I'm not sure where Orange Piccolo stands yet, but there's more to consider before we call Frieza top dog. But there's more to consider before we call Black Frieza top dog. Not gonna lie, you're overthinking. And I never thought I would say that about a Dragon Ball fan, but you're overthinking. You're doing a lot to ignore an obvious narrative. Black Frieza, not only, as my chat is spamming up, beats up Gas, but one-shotting Goku and Vegeta is always going to be that, especially when they're at that level of power. Even if, yes, they're not at 1 billion%. Even after, yes, a fight. There's fatigue in fights. Nobody's arguing there's not fatigue, because I know somebody's going to actually agree with this. Gang, you're overthinking this. They got healed. I think you're right. I think you're right, because that was the climax. I think you're right. I don't want to double down on it. I could be getting manipulated here. But even if they weren't healed, okay, well, everyone's saying they were fucking healed, so it seems like they truly were healed and you're cooked, buddy. But even if they weren't, no, it's obvious what the narrative is trying to imply with the photo of him gut punching both of them and fucking off after everyone seems scared by him. Mind you, it was a blitz that none of them could fathom, and he beat up Gas, and he's been training, and everyone says if Frieza trained, he would run the world. It is literally spoon-fed to you. No, gang. Black Frieza is the strongest right now. That's the next big bad threat when they continue the story. Don't overthink it and act like he's not. You're doing a lot. But yeah, chat saying they got healed. I only read through the manga one time. If he's been healed, then it's really a GG and you're just wrong. For the people that want to slander Vegito Blue, I want to let y'all know that if he did beat Fusion Zamasu, Infinite Zamasu would still happen. Congratulations, you complete. Congrats, you made the situation completely neutral. That aside, my hot take is Legendary Super Saiyan is overrated. I feel like you just found a way to snip in 2 hot takes here. This being overrated, I mean, But as far as Vegito Blue beating Fuse Zamasu, yeah, it's nothing implies that Infinite wouldn't pop up. And when Infinite pop-ups, GG's. But the point is that he never wins a fight. That's the gimmick. That's the troll. That's the bit that Gogeta fans have. You fell for rage bait, buddy. You fell for rage bait. Someone literally typed Soul Punisher immediately. You fell for the Gogeta rage bait. Hot take. Gohan actually likes fighting but doesn't like the hustle. He enjoys himself way too much when he is stronger than the opponent for someone that doesn't like fighting, but he doesn't like to train all the time, be ready, blah, blah, blah. Nah. I think anybody will show confidence and excitement if they're in a fight and winning the fight. I don't think that means he likes the idea of punching people in the face. You know what I mean? I think it's very straightforward. Gohan likes to be able to protect the ones he cares about. And if that leads to overconfidence against someone he thinks is morally evil, that is what you see. But I don't think because Gohan's stronger than you, oh, now he likes fighting. No, I mean, he just likes not getting his ass kicked. It's either smirk while punching someone in the face or be beaten up. Sure, you could argue, well, why doesn't he seem like remorseful or anything like that? Well, I mean, Boo took his mom, turned her to an egg, and then squished it, gang. I'm sorry. I think the feelings of, sadness have devolved over time. So I get where you're coming from. But I think it's very straightforward that Gohan would rather the world just be peaceful than to go out there and seek strong guys, the same way that Goku goes out there and seeks strong guys. But to a degree, I don't think he hates it though. He is a Saiyan still. No matter what others say, geekdom, what the stray. I fully believe that there was and still is a way for Dragon Ball to bring back characters like Raditz, Nappa, and King Vegeta. Dragon Ball is at the point where ideas besides Big Punch go boom. Ooh, so your point in Dragon Ball going past Big Punch Go Boom and deep plot devices is to bring back Saiyans. That ain't the cinema storytelling you think that is, buddy. If Dragon Ball, just by your standard and implications, if your point of, okay, Dragon Ball needs a deeper story, no more big punch go boom, so let's bring back older Saiyans. That'll make Dragon Ball look horrible at telling a compelling story, dog. That'll be awful. That'll be the worst shit to try to tell a compelling story, man. I guess to be fair, bringing back Bardock or King Vegeta would have relevance. Nappa and Raditz, you really don't have much, but nah, I think they fulfilled their purposes, dog. Chi-Chi is honestly overhated sometimes for her to just be an actual realistic mother to Gohan. Also rewatched Dragon Ball Super a bit and realized she admitted to really enjoy treating Goku like she always does, and it's kind of a game between them. Gotta question Goku and Vegeta for real. Wait, what? I don't get that one. Maybe I just suck at reading. Chi-Chi overhated? I mean, duh. She's always going to be default overhated because she is a big part of the reason why some people's glorious king is weak with the hands. But sometimes Chi-Chi can also be a little too like impractical. Unfortunately, while yes, you are a mother of a child, simultaneously, your child is literally the only possible reason the world could survive. And you're like, okay, fuck the world though. I'm not letting my son fight, so we're all just gonna fucking die. And then, like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it doesn't make sense, despite, but she's a mother. Like sometimes it genuinely doesn't make sense. But for the most part, yeah, she's still overhated. I mean, she takes good care of her son. She takes good care of her husband. So yeah. I agree with you, but to be fair, she has her moments, is what I'm getting at. Cooler being canon would be a better plotline addition and way more impactful than Broly and Super. Cooler being canon would not be more of a better plot device and would be way less impactful. By a lot. So, Cooler being canonic just implies that stuff we know. You already know that there's a race of Frieza out there via King Cold. You already know that these beings do not train via Frieza. What does adding Cooler do? Add another strong guy that maybe could beat up Frieza out there? That's interesting, I guess. Or maybe you don't add Frieza trains, right? Like, let's really just put all the dominoes for this to take the cook. Maybe you don't add the element of Frieza ever training, but Cooler is a Frieza race who did train, and he's able to put belt to ass, right? Cool, I guess you introduce that thematic then and there. Gang, the amount of possibilities that you have with Broly now being in Dragon Ball is kind of hilarious, and it just doesn't add up in comparison. You could go the route of, what's it like to be a somewhat ravaged Saiyan. You could go the route, and mind you, Broly isn't necessarily the most over the top complex storyline movie to canonic character either, but what I'm definitely saying is he has way more to offer than fucking Cooler. Even what they're doing right now, just the idea of seeing a Saiyan who is so like socialized, trying to learn kind of about society, that as a character, even if he wasn't a fucking Saiyan, is interesting compared to just Cooler being strong and Frieza has a brother. We already know Frieza has a race. We already know King Gold exists. So how would Cooler being canon be more interesting than that? Being said, I mean, Cooler being canon wouldn't be ass. It just wouldn't be more interesting. Dragon Ball fans don't let anything be cool anymore. I made that sentence up. A lot of people complain that Daima Super Saiyan 4 is bad because it had no build-up. But I say as long as the form doesn't cause bad power scaling, or we don't even know what the form is at all, it shouldn't be considered bad. I get what you're saying. I do not like your explanation, man. I might even agree with your take. I don't like that explanation. I don't like the idea that if it's not, as long as we don't know what it is, and as long as it doesn't ruin power scaling, it's good, because, well, we don't know what the fuck we just saw. So yeah, if it's just some random thing that we don't know what just happened and it's the reason the arc ends, I have every right to be like, what the fuck? But I agree with your premise that Dragon Ball fans are in this journey of trying to over-complexify the show or like not seem like the fan base that doesn't know how to read. We are, and that's fine. The story has more complexities than Twitter will say, but Twitter hates everything. If I feel like Dragon Ball fans are getting more insecure and therefore they don't allow cool shit to be cool shit. I do agree with that. But and it comes to this specific case in point, not even that Daima Super Saiyan 4 can't be cool, but like hell, even your second sentence I can kind of get with. But like the idea of why, I don't know. I think it's more than fair for people to want an explanation as to why they saw what they just saw. Goten is a goated character who should have the same level of screen time as Gohan. All right. Now, I'm a hater for saying this is blasphemous. I'm a hater for saying that Gohan has significantly more depth to him as a character than Goten does. I'm a hater for that. I don't like Goten for that. This is crazy. The literal plot demanded Gohan. Next. Might be late, but I think Piccolo is a better fighter than people give him credit for. He has a deep bag from things like potential body possession to attacks that can tear through people many times stronger than him. He cooks a lot of people in equal stats. Piccolo in an equal stats environment is one of them ones. But I don't think nobody knows that. I think a lot of people know that Piccolo in an equal stats take would just he gets the W on like a lot of people. Now that move that you're talking about in a 1v1 environment, unfortunately, is not viable. Special beam cannon in a one-on-one setting. What is the person gonna? He's gonna have to fight somebody who would just stand there and let him do it. And that's been a weakness of the move for a while. Yes, over time he's able to get him quicker off, but like the big body ones that we see actually do something, he's charged all of them up. So you kind of have to like glaze him to say that he just fires them bitches now for free. And it actually pierces through the same way that the sorry to keep you waiting ones do. You know what I mean? But yeah, in an equal stats environment, that might even be a video one day. Equal stats Dragon Ball. Who do I have winning? Probably Goku. It'd be either Goku or you'd have to cheat and say, well, Broly gets stronger as he fights / Vegeta gets stronger as he fights, so therefore one of them too. But if you don't make a, well, who can break the rules argument? Goku. Replace Krillin with the GOAT? No. I refuse to believe that everything is canon. I feel like you discussed this already. Dragon Ball to Z, to Daima, to Super. GT doesn't exist in the story unless they're willing to remake GT, and I doubt people want to. You took the quote way too literally. When everything is canon came out, some people had brain cells. Devontae the one, shout out to you. I watch your channel from time to time. You have a brain, and some people don't. One, it is Toyotaro's opinion and interpretation of all iterations of Dragon Ball. Two, not only is it his interpretation, but this was also Toriyama's interpretation of it. And what they both mean when they say everything is canon is that Dragon Ball is a franchise with multiple timelines and continuities. The Xenoverse timeline is canon. The movie timeline is canon. The GT timeline is canon. The Daima is canon. All of these things, obviously, in terms of the actually nerd talk that we have on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter, sure, in that timeline, there's no way a Xenoverse has happened. There's no way that within the 10 days, these niggas went out there to fight Broly, but then didn't go out there and use the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Obviously. But those continuities are canon to their own continuities, and they're canon to the series that is Dragon Ball as a whole. But in terms of the main timeline, per se, yeah, obviously certain shit isn't canon to the plot. But yeah, it's kind of like, essentially, it's kind of like this crazy ass PR take. And don't ruffle your feathers about it. Bulma's a better wife than Chi-Chi. Ooh. I mean, I would marry Bulma before Chi-Chi because Bulma has a bag, is smart, and I would never be bored. But debatable. And that's kind of where like my Chi-Chi is overhated thing is, because debatable. Like, for all the yelling Chi-Chi does and stuff, you could tell that's kind of like what Goku likes. I mean, they literally say that they like strong-willed women. So, yeah. And even Bulma yells at Vegeta a lot. So Bulma is just, and It depends what you like. Do you like a out of the world, isolated relationship with just you and your family? Or do you like a situation where you essentially top dog, rich class, genius, all the other stuff? Both of them are pretty good wives. I don't see a situation where either of them are bad wives per se. But gun to my head, if you're asking me, I'm probably going to Bulma, but that's close. It's actually a conversation. Everyone of say, okay, Frieza should have been replaced by Boo in the Tournament of Power, just wrong. There's a conversation for that, but the results showed that Frieza definitely belonged in the Tournament of Power. But no, Boo going to sleep again was and still is corny. Ultra Ego Vegeta's first fight is one of the most entertaining shit-talking in sessions ever. Okay, obvious. True Ultra Instinct both makes and doesn't make any type of sense. It's nice that Goku has his own fighting way, but going back to UI sign, but he is not calm, sound stupid. Nah, it makes sense. You gave me 3 takes, I sped run your shit. So your third take, it makes sense. Your first take, nah, they have the right to be mad, but Frieza definitely belonged in the tournament is what I saw. You just, all you do for the Tournament of Power is you either make Krillin look too weak, Roshi deny it because he's old, or Tien Shinhan. Well, no, Tien you probably have to bring for the sake of his character, or you just be like Tien. Either Krillin or Tien bow out because they claim they're too weak. One of the two. To be honest, low key, shout out to Tien fans, it probably should be Tien. Because Krillin had an interesting storyline with, okay, but I have this guy, and it makes sense for Krillin to go about it the way that he went about his trials. When he was like, yeah, maybe, you could use Destructo Disc or techniques or certain things like that to overcome certain odds. And Goku has that love for Krillin to want to push him to join the tournament. Tien, respectfully, when you really look back at it, kind of like a polar bear in Texas, in the sense of like, we needed a 10th spot, especially if you just don't make Boo go to sleep. And then Tien sits there and he's like, yo, I'm practically probably just holding you guys back. Goku would push for it, but he wouldn't push for it as much as he would Krillin. He would sit there, think, wait a minute. What about Frieza? And you have Boo and Frieza in the same tournament. It's not that hard. I found an interest. Okay. You know what? This is your take. I see your take. You basically said you watched Daima and you're convinced Super Saiyan 4 was introduced just for Broly. That's fine. Maybe even true. But fuck that. Rock Lee would make a great Dragon Ball character. Rock Lee in Dragon Ball, unironically, actually would be a good Dragon Ball character. But what the f? Why? You lead niggas need help. You lead niggas are sick in the head. Again, unironically, Rock Lee would be a interesting character, especially if they went the route of saying this is an Earthling that just shouldn't even fathomably be here, but he just trains at unbelievable realms to the point where he's awakened his own ki in a roundabout way. But what, do you give him the same Roshi gimmick if he can't fly or something? You have to do something to hinder him a bit. Because if you give Lee ki blast and flight, it doesn't feel like Lee anymore, right? But unironically, a Rock Lee kind of character would work in Dragon Ball if you execute it the right way. Unironically. Basically, Oob over time. No, not at all. Oob is supposed to be Boo reincarnated. No, that's not the same character path at all. Maybe Tot Oob doesn't know how to fly yet, but no. Oob path should not be Rock Lee. So he peaks at Dragon Ball. No, what I'm saying is you could theoretically make his physical jumps enough to you know how anime cheat, kind of like in the Tournament of Power, where they're not flying, they just jumped really, really high. And then they're falling the entire time type stuff. Like you make Rock Lee's entire kit no ki blast, but he knows how to run, jump, be really strong, has certain techniques, after image, stuff like that. Because you have to have ki. You can't be in Dragon Ball without ki. But you can be in Dragon Ball and not have the Destructo Disc and shit type shit. If Gohan never stopped training after the Cell Saga, he would have been Super Saiyan 3 by the Buu arc and would have been stronger than Beerus after Gohan has his Ultimate Awakening plus Super Saiyan 3. You started off with a no shit Sherlock, and then you just lied. I'm being dead ass. You could take Ultimate Gohan, fuse him with Goku, and then fuse that being with Vegeta, and then fuse that being with Piccolo after he fuses with Namek, and they can't beat Beerus. I don't think you get how unbelievably strong Beerus is in comparison to the cast. Fuck that. I think you understand how strong Goku right now that sentence applies for. I'm not even bullshitting. Goku in base would beat your theoretical Gohan. Goku in base might be the theoretical character I just made up. Dude, the power cliff that these niggas have taken, laughable. You're not there. Being said, by the way, TSO, you're the best YouTuber / streamer of all time. Love your content. Yo, chat, am I actually some of y'all favorite? Oh, wow. Speaking of the guy who thinks Gohan, if he trained really hard, could beat Beerus, I think the scale of the series evolved too quickly. Going from Earth-based deities to Kai space warriors to God of Destruction to an entire multiverse was something I think needed more time and arcs to really develop. Kind of like the Osusuki's DLC pack in Naruto. You know what? I somewhat agree with this. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think that controversial to believe that the God of Destruction thing was the crazy push. They just needed to really paint the narrative of how much time has passed since they first met Beerus. I think that would have done a lot for the series. But I'm not gonna lie, it's not that aliens touched down and people got stronger quickly. No, I think when Goku learned about his Saiyan heritage, he should get stronger quickly. But no, I don't disagree with the Saiyan saga. I say this time in and time out. I full screen it every time I say it. Someone gets mad at it. Most of you end up agreeing with it over time. The culprit for all this stuff that y'all get mad at, low-key is a top 2 favorite character of mine. It's Frieza's fault. Because Frieza came through. We just got done with over 9,000. We just got with Kaioken times 4. Do the math. Ugh. We just got done with the Great Ape transformation. Do the math. And then we spawn in on Namek. And Buddy has a power level of 530,000. Then he has 4 transformations, and the first one takes him to 1 million. Then after the million, Piccolo just sits there, meditates. Yes, I know he's training. Meditates, naps, and he matches that power level. He wasn't even at 9,000. And then Goku, 2 transformations later, boxes up that being off his Zenkai. So for me, I think, to be very blunt, if Frieza's power level on Namek even had peaked at 500,000 or even peaked at 1 million, that'd have been fine. But when Frieza kind of broke the scale fast as shit, like holy fuck fast, it kind of made an ambiguous, it kind of blurred the lines of how strong these people could get if they really need to get that strong. And the Cell Saga only did wonders for that. The Buu Saga only does even more wonders for that. And then Super kind of hardcore resets it in a way. That's why I don't really have a problem with Super. As like weirdly as you would think it is, I don't have a problem with how Super does it. Super just says, yeah, there's a being out there who is a literal god, and he is unfathomably fuck you strong, so you can't train to accomplish this. You had to do a motherfucking Fahu Dore ass ritual to get it done, which I don't have a problem with that ritual, mind you. I'm just simplifying it for the sake of conversation. And that's where you get that jump start from, because you didn't have a chance catching up to it. So I just wish Super was really more specific or clear cut with how much time has passed since initially meeting Beerus. That would have done wonders for the series. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I do think Namek is kind of where, while I love Namek, peak arc, it definitely kind of like makes the power jump, but the power spike in the series just kind of crazy as hell. Made serious because Frieza is the tyrant of the universe. Yeah, but even Frieza doesn't know that there's beings out there that would just kick his fucking ass. Whole time, Dr. Gero's out there. Whole time, Dr. Gero's out there making someone stronger than Frieza, right? Whole time, fucking what's it called? Boo's out there. We all know that Frieza was told to avoid Boo and Beerus. So yes, he's the tyrant of the universe, but he wasn't necessarily the strongest of it. Frieza could be strong. Frieza could be at a power level of 500,000. That was still hilariously stronger than everyone else on Namek. For nothing, honestly, Frieza not having a power level of 1,000,000 changes nothing about him being a tyrant and changes nothing about the further scaling of the series. You know what I'm saying? Like, for case in point, Beard, yeah, y'all gotchas are proving my point. And I'm not even saying that this person was going for a gotcha. Case in point, Frieza was told to destroy the Saiyans. What about base form 530,000 power level Frieza couldn't destroy the Saiyans? Oh wait, he did. We not getting what I'm putting down here? Type shit. type shit. You see what I'm saying? Like what does him having to jump to what is final form Frieza's power level? What does him going to 120 fucking million gotta do with the fact that he could just boop in his first form the Saiyans? That's what I'm saying. There is no reason. There's dead ass. I love Dragon Ball. There is dead ass no reason he had to get that strong. There is no reason he had to go that far. I love Namek. I will always say, if y'all complain about people getting too strong too fast, Frieza's the culprit. There's no reason. There's no reason he had to get that strong. Could have easily done a thing of, to be blunt. Now I'm really thinking of it. You could have easily done 250,000. 500,000, 750,000, and 1 million. You could have easily told the story like that, and nothing changes. Dead ass, nothing changes. The Z fighters are just weaker. Scale the rest of the series prior to how you want to see fit. You could have just had Frieza in his base form be 250,000. Nobody can rival that. Oh my God, 250,000. That's crazy. Then he has 4 transformation. He gets up to 1 million. And the question is, can the legendary Super Saiyan pass the power level of 1 million? Boom, that's your plot line. I'm not better than Toriyama, but I'm just saying you didn't need to go to 120,000. But those are my thoughts on your hot takes, and your hot takes are still stupid. Let me know if the live action version of Dragon Ball hot takes went crazy. Take care, stay blessed. See y'all next time, man.